Developed and published by the passionate 3R Games, Cave Crave launched on MetaQuest on June 26th of 2025, with a PSVR 2 release coming July 10th. Like their past titles, 3R Games plans to support Cave Crave well after launch, with new levels already scheduled for early July and beyond. But make no mistake, this isn't a case of a bare bones release relying on future updates to feel complete. I was graciously given an early build version, and after spending time with that, as well as the official release version of the game, I can confidently say that Cave Crave is already a dense and rewarding experience packed with thoughtful design, creative mechanics, and a quietly addictive core loop that turns slow exploration into something deeply satisfying. You play as Jake, a man following the literal and emotional path left by his estranged father. Their relationship has been strained. His dad spent more time on expeditions than at home, and Jake has long resented that absence. But as Jake journeys deeper into the caves, he discovers voice recordings his father left behind. These tapes reveal a man filled with regret, trying to connect, to explain, and to reconcile with the son he failed to be there for. What begins as a physical journey quickly reveals itself to be a reflection on family, regret, and understanding. The game becomes more than a descent into rock, it's a descent into unresolved family tension and fractured relationships, a symbolic journey through tight spaces of emotional vulnerability and clarity. It's moving and feels genuinely personal, like a therapeutic exercise expressed through motion and discovery that's surprisingly touching and handled with restraint. Cave Crave is a game about physical presence. You crawl, climb, and reach through the environment using your arms, tools, and body. Every movement matters. You must jam your climbing picks into walls, scaling up or down ledges with urgency. It feels amazing. There's something deeply satisfying about that sharp thunk when you secure a hold. But you can't just hang there forever. Overexertion leads to falls, so every action carries weight and purpose. You also have a hammer for breaking away stalagmites and clearing paths. And when things get really tight, you'll need to hold your breath, literally, by gripping both triggers as you squeeze through claustrophobic gaps. If you mess it up, you might fail, but the game's forgiving checkpointing starts you right back where you were, easing tension without robbing the stakes. Your toolkit expands beyond just picks and a flashlight. You carry a chalk stick to mark cave walls, vital for navigating sprawling, disorienting systems. You might think to leave arrows or notes to track your progress, but I often found myself drawing silly pictures just to leave a personal imprint. It adds personality and is genuinely useful. You can also collect fossils by bringing them to your chest, and you have a tablet that tracks objectives, collectibles, and gives access to the pause menu. Your wristwatch keeps track of flashlight battery, and your headlamp can be twisted to widen or focus the beam. There's even an infrared mode for finding hidden fossils or environmental details. To climb effectively, you also need to clean your gloves using a special tool. Dirt reduces grip, and failing to maintain your gear can be the difference between success and a scary fall. You can even pick up and throw rocks, either to test the ground ahead or just for the joy of it. Cave Crave isn't a horror game, it's a game about curiosity, awe, and the beauty of dark places. Each level starts small and slowly expands in scope and complexity. As you reach later areas like Stilt Squeeze and Red Reach, the game eases you to rely more on memory, markings, and instinct. The sprawling Devil's Gut level spirals in on itself, challenging your orientation and resolve without ever feeling unfair. Each stage ends with a summary showing how much of the cave you've explored and what collectibles you found, offering a satisfying sense of progression. While the main game is meditative and calm, and there is a tourist mode that lets you freely explore the caves at your leisure with no story attachments, there's an optional horror mode that changes the tone significantly. Here, you're on a timer, racing to collect fossils while giant spiders roam the cave. For me, they were just another obstacle. I'm not afraid of spiders, but if you have arachnophobia, good luck. This mode taps into primal fears, especially in such dark, narrow spaces, and it's no doubt going to be a real challenge for those who struggle with those kind of phobias. It's a bold inclusion and one that adds surprising variety to the otherwise calming experience. I would love it if there were actual horror elements that eventually get brought to this mode, like scary looking trolls that roam in the dark and try to steal your collected fossils. Cave Crave feels built from the ground up for VR. The sense of scale, physicality, and atmosphere is unmatched. The devs nailed the balance between tension and comfort, creating a space that feels exciting to return to even after a break. Just the act of crawling forward or sliding through a narrow space is thrilling. Changing your flashlight angle with a twist of your hand, checking your wristwatch with a glance, or manually cleaning your gloves. The game also includes expected comfort options like snap versus smooth turning and adjustable angles, but the core of the experience is how natural and real it feels to move, act, and explore. While the base game is excellent, there's definitely room for growth. The gameplay loop is tight and focused, but I'd love to see more interactions with the environment. Maybe hidden cave drawings, cosmetic upgrades tied to fossil discoveries, or even secret areas requiring clever use of tools. The foundation is already rock solid, and with the first post-launch update dropping in early July, it's exciting to think about where the game might go from here. 3R Games has a history of nurturing their games post-launch, and Cave Crave feels ripe for that kind of support. The game's visual style isn't about photorealism, it's about believability. The textures feel real, the lighting reacts naturally, and every cave feels like a place that could exist. But the real star is the sound design. From the crunch of boots on gravel to the soft splash of distant water, Cave Crave pulls you in through sound. Your breath, your tools, your movements, it's all amplified by the silence around you. And yet, there's always a sense of peace. Even in the darkest spaces, the game evokes wonder, not fear. It's a rare feat in VR and something I didn't expect from a cave diving sim. Cave Crave is one of the most memorable and emotionally resonant games I've played in 2025 so far. It surprised me, not just with its mechanics or atmosphere, but with how personally affecting it was. There's something powerful about physically moving through spaces your character's father once walked, and feeling that connection through action, not just words. The game feels intimate, focused, and polished through gameplay and design. Whether you're in it for the exploration, the challenge, or the story, Cave Crave delivers a VR experience that's hard to put down, and even harder to forget. I give Cave Crave an 8 out of 10.